Welcome back to the art room. I snuck in a little time today to do some drawing. Today's going to be an easy one. Easy drawing for those that want to follow along or learn how to draw with charcoal. First step is toning our paper here. And I'm using Bristol, a smooth Bristol. I'm starting to like this paper more than the Strathmore that I was using before. It's just easier to work with, I think. So I might sound a little funny right now. I have a mask on. I don't want to breathe this stuff in. So right now I'm just kind of spreading all this charcoal powder around. And that's good enough. So today I'm going to do something a little different. I normally block in like the lighter areas. I start with my eraser. Today I'm going to start with the darks. I don't know if you guys can see, but like down here, all this charcoal just kind of raining down. That way I can work these dark areas, and then I'll just smoothen everything out, and then I can start building up my louder areas. I don't have to worry about it raining down on some of the highlights. Today we're going to do a river scene with like a boat or a canoe somewhere down here. So this is going to be where the water's at. Maybe like a calm river. And up here I'll have some trees or some brush on the side. And of course, it's going to have like a moody, foggy effect. So this is going to be my horizon line, I guess you can say. And I'll put like a riverbank over here. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but you gotta trust the process. It'll start to take shape. Maybe all this river just kind of zigzag. Maybe more like a creek. Not a huge river. Forgot to put my gloves on. All right, so now for the smudging and smearing part. So yeah, just working on these dark areas, smudging and smearing. I like the sounds. Whenever I'm posting these on my socials, lately I've been throwing in there like ASMR type tags or putting them in my titles, because I feel like it has a little bit of that ASMR kind of vibe. A lot of sounds, drawing sounds. It's so quiet right now. Normally I draw in the mornings and it's just loud. Cars zooming by and just a lot of busyness. I've been doing a lot of landscapes lately, and I'm like really enjoying them. Somebody in the comments on one of my videos commented about adding color. And yeah, I can paint a landscape. Lots of vibrant colors and all that. They look nice. But that's not the look that I'm going for. I am going for like this moody, kind of dark look. It's easy to make artworks look beautiful and colorful and vibrant. Make them pop, with color. I shouldn't say it's easy because it's a different challenge and it does take some skill. But I think it's a different type of challenge to just make something really eye-catching and beautiful, something so simple and basic as charcoal. But for me, it's just this whole experience that charcoal brings. All these sounds, just feeling the paper. And the unpredictability is what I'm really liking about this process. Almost feels like sculpting for me, using my hands, because I'm getting like most of this drawing down by this part of the process, the smudging and smearing part. And I don't want to overblend. I'll make sure to zoom in on some of these areas, but I don't know if you guys can see all these marks from the charcoal. I want to leave some of that. It's like a evidence of the process, and I like something that I've learned, and maybe I'm just getting older, get a little wiser, is that I've learned to really appreciate imperfections. Kind of just drawing for me now. So for the most part, I'm just drawing with my entire hand here, just moving things around, and I'm starting to get an idea of what I want, what it's going to look like. So this river is going to kind of flow through here. And I think I'm going to add a canoe somewhere here. And maybe my light source somewhere here. Kind of like the sun is setting, or maybe an early morning fog, and the sun will just kind of peek through here. Now I got my Kneaded Eraser to bring out some of these highlights, and that was too centered for my sun. Let's put it off to the side, maybe like here. So going back to my little talk about imperfection, I'm sure a lot of artists out there struggle with that. You see your work and it's just not perfect, or you compare your works to other artists. And we're all at different stages and different levels as far as finding our own style, and even on a technical level. So you really shouldn't compare yourself to others. Just just enjoy it. Enjoy the process, learn from things, experiment, and don't expect every artwork to be a masterpiece, I'll tell you that much. I never used to be an outdoors person, not when I was younger. That's probably pretty common when you graduate from high school, and one of the first things you want to do is like go live in a city, and which, you know, I did too. I was thinking, I'm gonna live in a downtown area. I like being around people and the busyness and culture. And now that I've gotten older, I want to be closer to the wilderness and the outdoors, and I want to be where it's quiet. Complete opposite of me at 18. We get so caught up in materialistic things and placing value on things, and which, you know, I'm guilty of. And then you go outside for a little bit and you just feel different when you're outdoors, out on a trail surrounded by trees and giant mountains and streams. All right, so I am just gonna start building up some of these areas, and I guess before I move on, this is gonna be my stream or river, so I gotta reflect this sun somewhere. So I do want to add like a little bit of ripples here. That is lighter than I wanted. It's all good. Go back and blend this all in. And I'm going to blend this in a bit so it doesn't look so rough. My other more commonly used or more frequently used tool is a piece of tissue. My fingers and tissue. So I'm not trying to get this perfect. I just kind of eyeball it and see where it looks right. And then I'll figure out where I'm going to put my canoe. I guess since I'm down here, I might as well just finish this or add more details to my stream here. I got a smaller, very used kneaded eraser for this part. Kind of creating these random little streaks everywhere. Make it seem like little waves or ripples and reflections. It's kind of looking like water a little bit. But I don't want these little waves to be too big either, so it has to look like a calm river. Nice thing about working with charcoal too is it's really not that expensive. I would say it's one of the least expensive mediums you can buy, aside from just pencil. But yeah, I think it's very beginner friendly. Trying to add a little bit of highlights in some areas. And probably add some kind of shadowy reflections too, some darker areas. I'm just like stepping back occasionally and just adjusting where I need to. All right, back to bringing out some more highlights here because I lost my reflection up here. It's supposed to be a reflection of that sun or moon. And maybe I didn't lighten it up enough initially. I gotta pull this back out. Again, this is like it's gonna be a quick, simple drawing. All right, so I do need to add some like trees or something. It just looks way too plain back here, like it needs something. So I'm just gonna add like some branches back here. And not very detailed at all, like super vague kind of branches and trees back here. Initially, I was thinking like brush, but we'll say these are a combination of some low brush down here and some thin kind of trees back here. And I'll do the same here. And I'm trying not to overthink this. So if you guys are following along, you know, don't necessarily follow every stroke that I'm doing, just kind of just go with it. And I'm gonna add some reflections down here too from some of these bigger trees, very loosely down here, just to make it more interesting. There should be something reflecting down here. The thing is, it's got to make sure to consider perspective too. And I'm gonna fix my little line here. Looks too slanted. It's like the river's kind of fading away over here. And I'll probably bring up the riverbank a little closer in some areas. So this river's not like perfectly straight line. It's going to be wider in some areas and narrower in some. Since I got my trees here, I was just trying to kind of match this right here. I want this to be part of the water too, down here. I think it's time to draw our canoe. And I'm just gonna do like a light sketch first. Just trying to figure out my placement here. I can always change things. I think figuring out perspective and scales, one of the bigger challenges. And I'll like play around with it until it looks right to me. It's not gonna be super detailed. Since I have my light source over here, I gotta consider a shadow over here. Our shadow is gonna be right down here. And it's just a rough sketch too. I'm gonna adjust this as I go. This looks so out of place when it's not blended in. It'll start coming together. Trying to avoid any like hard lines. What I'm gonna do is Use my eraser for the details. I want like soft edges. And a canoe is a pretty basic shape, right? I think most of us can probably draw a canoe from our heads. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we have an idea. It has like this banana kind of shape. You just got to make it look, you know, add some depth, make it look kind of 3D-ish. Okay, so I am going to use my Tombow eraser here, this small eraser, to give this thing a little more shape, and there has to be some light reflecting off of it from this light source up here. I don't want to just do a straight line. This whole drawing is supposed to be kind of sketchy looking. So I'm just doing like these little short scratchy marks. All right, it's starting to look a little more like a little boat or a canoe. So I was gonna start adding a little more details, and I remember this was supposed to be a quick and easy drawing, so we're gonna keep it simple and not overdo anything. This part's always satisfying. I just like how that sounds too. So that was one of the more faster drawings I've ever done, but my goal was to make it super beginner friendly. And thanks again for watching, guys.